Hey guys, it's Dylan with eCloud Vapes, and I'm bringing this cool little atomizer that we just got in to talk to you about. This is called the APO, and this is a clone made by Tobeco, and it's probably one of their best clones that they've ever come out with aside from the Patriot. A little background behind this atomizer: the Authentic is made by a company called Ghetto Incorporated out of the Philippines, and the word APO actually means boss. So we can call this the boss atomizer or the APO, whatever you feel comfortable with. Now, mine is patinaed. It comes with a copper ring all the way around, and it has a nice deep engraving right here. This isn't going to wear off from you polishing it. It's not laser engraved. And if you look on the bottom, it's engraved on the bottom as well. That is deep as well. That's not laser etched in there like a lot of companies are doing to their atomizers these days. The drip tip is not included. That is my own personal drip tip. But this is a three-piece atomizer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw it on and pull it apart. It's a three-piece atomizer. You've got your basic build deck right there. It's a three-post design. It has, and this is one of my favorite parts about it, is it has flathead screws on each terminal or post. And these flathead screws are designed a little bit different versus Phillips heads, that when they actually go down and they're screwing them down, they lock down into place, versus like an IGO W, where you're always having, if you leave it sitting for a day, you might have to come back and screw one of your leads down because it's not firing properly. I've yet to have to do this for one. It's a single O-ring holding the top cap on, and that O-ring is a nice thick O-ring. Once it does get juiced up, though, it does become a little bit easier to pull the top cap off because it is stiff at first. The actual top cap is engraved, like I showed you earlier. It's like a polished stainless and then a copper ring. And the cool thing about this copper ring is it comes off. Now, there's O-rings underneath, and there's different airflow settings. So no drilling on this atomizer, which is always a huge plus. It comes with two standard slots. I want to say that the diameter on these slots, or the length, is 4 millimeters, but I could be wrong. I'm just based off of my measurements. And then you also have a if you look in the small one, let me wipe this off. But if you look on the actual building, or on the actual top cap where the airflow settings are, you've got two holes set up for dual coil. You should be able to see the light of day through that one. See my glasses. You have a single coil, and then you also have another dual coil set up for these smaller airflows, for restricted airflow. And that's great if you're a flavor junkie and you're trying to get the most flavor out of your atomizer. Really nifty atomizer that you don't have to drill. And that's one thing that is one of my gripes these days about these atomizers that are coming out, especially some of these authentic higher end. You have to drill them. Why am I going to pay $80, $90, upwards to $100 for something I have to drill? And the original manufacturer really did a great job with this atomizer, and Tobeco did a great job replicating it. I'm not going to call this a clone. It is a one-to-one replica, all the way from the post holes to the screw holes. Now the post holes on here, I know you can't really get in and see those because I have a build in there, because I'm going to show you how it vapes here in a moment. But the post holes they're fairly big. It fit dual parallel 24s in there just fine. It can house the sleeper build just fine, and it was able to hold twisted 26. I'm sure you can fit 20 gauge in there, maybe for a sleeper build with 20 gauge. And I know a lot of people are running down to that smaller gauge wire, trying to go low ohms, but this atomizer is more or less not designed for these huge for that huge wire. This is designed for your daily driver atomizer, and that's what I love about it. It's not an atomizer that you have to be highly advanced to build. This is one that you can buy, and right out the gate you have it set up for native duals or native single. There's no extra drilling that you should have to do. It feels like you're just breathing in air. It really is a good cloud chasing atomizer over like something crazy where you're having to drill the air hole out to 5/64, no, not even 5/64, 1/8 and bigger. This one you don't have to, and it's one of those, I call it a plug and play atomizer, and I find them to be outstanding. I've looked over a real one, and I've looked over this one, and it's great. It actually has the bottom pin is silver plated, and you can adjust it out. So for all of you guys that have like HANA clones or Cloudpore DNA clones, sometimes that pin, you have to adjust something out for that pin, and it works perfect, keeps connection, there's no wiggling. I have torque down on the negative screws, did not turn, positive didn't turn. It housed my dual 26 gauge build in there, and it works perfect. I'm really impressed with the quality of Tobeco on this one, and there's a lot to be said about them. While it's a game out there to clone everything, these guys really set themselves apart on this one, so they get their props on it. And also, the guys over at Ghetto Inc. that came up with the original design did a wonderful job on this, so I'm going to give them a lot of credit. I'm screwing everything together now because I want to show you how it vapes, and I've got it on my OKR box mod, or Shrek as some people know it. My drip tip didn't fall off, but it has a really good conductivity to it. Really impressed with that, and you'll actually be able to hear that airflow whooshing because there's such big holes, and you can see it's not really a hole design, it's more or less an oval slot, and it differs from it differs from the design of like the Stellaire that has that one even slot across. This has that board slot right there with like an oval style, so it sits right even with the coil, so when that air goes in, it hits that coil and goes straight up. It makes for a great vape. As you can see, it's just a cloud chaser's dream, and I don't even have this thing turned up all the way. I'm loving this atomizer. It's definitely my top Atty right now because it's so simple. There's none of these crazy antics, having to build the coil vertical or having to, move the coil this way or that way just to get it to sit right, like some of the IGOs that are recently coming out. Ude makes an awesome product, but like I said, Tobeco, you've done a wonderful job, and these are $34.99 in store. You can come by and pick them up at any time. We'll keep them in stock, and you'll be really impressed. This actually took place over the Zenith. The Zenith was my favorite atomizer up until getting this, and the only gripe that I see people complain about, oh, that copper is going to patina. If you're that person that likes polishing, get some polish. Maybe polish it once a week. I'm not going to gripe. I like the way it looks, especially sitting on here. I'm actually probably going to do a boiled patina on it to kind of give it that green to match. But other than that, guys, have a great day. By the way, July 12th, starting at 7 p.m., we're going to be doing a building class at the store. It's free, completely free, open to anybody. There's going to be a cloud contest. We're going to be running some deals on some stuff, if I'm correct, and free pizza and drinks. What more can you ask for? It's going to be the eCloud gang, and we're also going to have Heisen Vapes out there and he's going to be bringing some of his liquid. So feel free to stop by, join us on the cloud competition. First place is a Black Nemesis, second place Brass Monkey RDA with both caps, and that is a clone. Both of them are clones, guys. So y'all have a great one, have a great week, and remember, vape on from the guys over at eCloud Vapes.